Awesome. So let's go through what we're going to cover in this module. Okay, so there's a few different methods that we're going to teach here. I'm not going to be, let me just preface this section by saying, like, I'm not going to give you specific search criteria, and I'm not going to tell you exactly how to find your specific niche. I'm just going to give you examples of what you can do to find them, okay? And I'm going to start to open your mind into different ways that you can think, and then use that thinking to then find your niche on the platform, okay? Because every niche is different. Every niche is going to have different keywords, different places where they hang out. I'm going to show you like the kind of thinking that you should do to find them, there's no way that I can give you specific search criteria for everyone. Okay, so keep that in mind. This module comes with a lot of critical thinking on your behalf. You have to take the systems that I give you here, and put your own twist on them just to find your own niche. All right. That being said, we're going to cover how to find leads in Facebook groups. By far the best way to find leads on Facebook. A lot of you out there are probably thinking that it's completely oversaturated, and it is, and I'll explain why later, but it's still extremely viable, and some of the best leads are in Facebook groups. Okay, so we're going to be covering that. We're going to be covering competitors, influencers, and appointment setters. These guys are people within our niche who are also targeting our niche, and they're effectively doing your job for you. Okay, if we can find their Facebook profile, we can find a list of lead sourcing that they've done in their own friends list. Okay, so again, this is probably the second best behind Facebook groups on how to find your leads on Facebook. So we're going to cover that. We're also going to be covering the Facebook ads library. We're going to be covering the Facebook watch tab, the marketplace, and also how to leverage Facebook's algorithm. As we know, Facebook is designed to just make sure that every time you log in, you're getting shown stuff you want. And we can actually use that to our advantage in order to prime our accounts to just log in every day and just be shown a bunch of leads. Okay. Finally, I'm going to show you how to reverse engineer Facebook pages. Quite a lot of the time, we're just going to be coming up with Facebook pages, like business pages, especially when we're doing like the ads library search, and like the watch and marketplace search, and also the algorithm search. So I'm going to show you how you can find business owners' personal profiles from their Facebook page, and a bunch of different methods that I've used from running my own agency and also working with EasyGrow on how to do that. Okay. I'm going to have a sip of my coffee before we get started. Let's go into it. Okay, so let's get started with Facebook groups. Okay, again, I said it up here, but Facebook groups are by far the best way to lead source on Facebook. I know, I know exactly what you're thinking right now. Will, Facebook groups are outdated. They are full of marketers and appointment setters. Correct? You're not wrong. However, simply typing in like your niche plus group in the search bar, and clicking on the first page does not work anymore. And what I'm talking about is doing this. For example, agency owners. And just agency owners group. And just coming to the first one. Okay, and I know you've all done this. I know I did this. These groups are just not viable. All right. Yeah, as we all know, they're full of appointment setters. They're full of marketers. They're posting rubbish like this. Like, they're not good. Okay. Tens of thousands of marketers in your exact niche are all targeting the same groups and pitching these members. Everyone in these groups has been blasted by people. 10k members, every single one of these groups has been absolutely blasted. All right, and you can come in here, you can pitch people, you can reach out, but everyone who's in there is either going to be an appointment setter, or rival agency owner, or they're going to be completely blasted and they're not going to really care about what you're saying. Okay, yeah, they've been completely overrun in the past because these are popular groups and they're just full of appointment setters. There's nothing we can really do there. Luckily for us, this is actually good, because truthfully, no one is actually taking the extra time to find quality groups filled with quality members to lead source from. Everyone, when they're finding Facebook groups, are doing the exact same method. They're just searching, going to the first few groups with the most members and reaching out. For Facebook groups, there's a whole ecosystem of different types of groups run with different types of people. which we can use in order to find quality members. Facebook has done a big push in the last few years to really push members to join groups, so much so that on the newsfeed, Facebook group posts are actually getting prioritized over normal posts. I think Facebook has realized like the importance of having a community and creating like sub-communities within their profile, within their platform. So they are really doing a big push on it. It's just the way that, you know, most marketers go about finding these groups is the exact same, and no one's taking the extra time to just find good groups. Okay, truthfully, between me and you, it is very easy to find them. It just takes a little longer. Thankfully, as I said, most people aren't doing it right. So in this section, I'm just going to show you exactly how to find quality groups filled with quality leads that will reply to your pitch. Okay, so the main thought process I want you to go through while looking to find your, you know, perfect Facebook group to lead source from is just to think about where your niche hangs out and ultimately infiltrate this. Okay, these groups do not have to be explicitly targeted towards them. What I mean by this is simply coming to Facebook and just searching for real estate agents. You know, if we just simply do a search like this, we're going to find groups that are just targeted towards real estate agents, and they're going to be full of other marketers. Ideally, we need to be kind of thinking out of the box a little bit here. Okay, for example, agency owners, you know, they very commonly hang out in software groups. So instead of just searching for agency owner groups, we can search for like the kind of softwares they use. For example, like Apollo lead sourcing, and come to groups. Okay, and we can find some kind of group revolving around the platform Apollo, or just in general, just lead sourcing. Okay, because agency owners are also going to be in lead sourcing groups. Agency owners are also going to be hiring VAs, and they're going to be in VA hiring groups. Okay, so just think out of the box a little bit. Okay, another example, where do roofers and tradesmen buy their tools? If you're in the roofing niche or some kind of like trade niche like carpentry or construction or something like that, okay, what is the industry standard of tools that they use? You know, what kind of bookkeeping software do they use? There must be an industry standard there somewhere that they use. Do they have a community for that on how to use that on Facebook? All right. For example, where do dentists get their equipment? Again, there must be an industry standard of dentist equipment which you can use to find Facebook groups. You know, do gyms buy or resell equipment online? You know, where do agency owners get their leads, VAs, media buyers? These are just little thoughts that I've had while creating this module, but you can kind of use this to kind of think out of the box when looking for these groups. It's very important here to kind of get inside the head of your niche. Think about what they do on a daily basis and what things they need in order to make their business work. I'll use agency owners here for the example, okay? So the average day for an agency owner, what does an agency owner commonly do? Okay, they hire VAs, they do outreach, they record content, they send cold emails. So instead of just coming to Facebook and searching for agency owner groups, I can go for like, right, cold email copy, because I know that agency owners send cold emails, and then come to groups and find cold email masterclass, cold email closers, you know, cold email Apollo, instantly Snov, okay? And these are groups that are targeted towards people who are looking for cold emails, and they're not going to be full of other appointment setters who are just searching agency owners and going for the first page of groups here, okay? The same thing, I mentioned agency owners, they film content, okay? Camera confidence entrepreneurs. We can come here and find groups on camera confidence, because all entrepreneurs or agency owners, coaches and consultants who are running some kind of online, you know, content strategy are going to be looking to gain confidence on the camera. It's something they really struggle with. So in these groups, there's going to be a bunch of people who are, you know, agency owners and business owners who you could reach out to. The same goes for, like, for example, like the gym owner niche. Just get inside the head of your actual niche, work out what they do on a daily basis, and what they actually need. So for example, like, what do gyms have? They hire personal trainers. Okay, let's look for a personal trainer hiring group. Come to groups. 545 members here who are looking for a personal trainer. Now, granted, quite a lot of these people might just be normal people looking for personal trainers, but I'm sure, I promise you, there will be some gym owners in here who are looking for personal trainers for their gym. Okay, so my main thing that I'm trying to get behind with this is just to think outside of the box in order to find these groups. Do not, and I stress this, I cannot stress this enough, do not simply search your niche and then group on Facebook and go for the first page. It doesn't work. Yeah, that's the method that we should be using to find Facebook groups, okay? Cool, so finding perfect groups on Facebook, okay? It's easier than you think, okay? First things first, do not target the big groups, okay? And what I mean by big groups is anything with over 2,000-3,000 members. There's a rule of thumb. I literally do not join groups if they've got more than 1,000 members, but that's for the agency space. There's a lot of agency groups, so for you, that number might be a bit higher. Depending on your niche, you have to kind of work out what that standard is, but across the board, it should be around 2,000 members as an absolute maximum. Okay, that way it just keeps the groups refined, and it stops the groups with just being overrun with marketers. Because if there's a lot of people in the group, A, you can assume a lot of them are appointment setters, but B, a lot of people in that group may not be perfect leads for you. Okay, so the first things first is make sure you are not targeting the big groups. Okay, you need to refine your search and aim for smaller groups with more niche search criteria. So I kind of covered on it above here. Like I said, the different kind of searches that you can use in order to find your niche. Just think outside the box here. Just don't simply look for agency owners plus group because it doesn't work anymore. All right, I've highlighted this here. Do not be a lazy lead sourcer. Okay, it's so easy to come in here and come to the first few groups, source leads, and then wonder why your outreach systems aren't working and no one's accepting your requests. It's because in these big groups, quite a lot of these accounts are not going to be active, and they're not going to be good fits for you, and of course they're not going to accept your bloody friend request, are they? You want to be going for the smaller groups, okay? So the first things first, you need to ignore the first page, all right? So the first things first, just literally ignore this, okay? And by first page, I mean just like until it reloads here, keep going from here, okay? Everything from down here onwards will be a much better group for you to join. And ideally, man, even the ones that are like 43 members, 6 members, 28 members, like they're very small groups, but they're going to be full of really good leads, okay? Because the people who are actual business owners, they are not going to be joining these big groups because they know that they're going to get reached out to and they're not going to be useful for them, okay? These agency owners are going to be in these smaller groups, ones they've been personally invited to, or ones that they found by actually searching for like a specific problem themselves, and that's where they're going to hang out, okay? So that's the first thing. The next thing is use different syntax. So ideally here, you just need to be using different kind of words rather than just agency owners, all right? For examples, like a really good one that I've used, let's say you're targeting like online entrepreneurs, you can just search like on entrepreneur weight loss, because this is a very common thing. People working online, they want to lose weight, or people who just work from home want to lose weight. So people who have like a self-employed and have their own kind of business, they want to go down this weight loss thing because they're spending a lot of time at home. So there will be a lot of groups on Facebook just centered around that, quite a lot of these aren't targeted towards weight loss, but you get the point there. Just look for different kind of groups centered around your business niche, okay? For example, like let's say we're targeting gym owners. I'm going to use gym owners as an example quite a lot here. I used to be in the gym niche, for those of you who don't know, so I kind of always refer back to that. So for example, we can just simply search gym owners and find that, but we can also go like gym owner or like gym management, okay? And in here we'll find some groups on how to actually like manage a gym management system. So again, this is like a software feature that are going to be full of people who could be gym owners. Just use a different syntax, man. Don't simply search like gym owners or like roofers. Just go for like gym management or like online business management or like just get creative with it, man. All right. As I said, I can't really give you perfect examples here, but what I can do is like open your eyes to the kind of thought processes that you should be using while doing this Facebook outreach. All right. Okay, and the final thing that you can use in order to find the perfect group on Facebook is to utilize the geographical filter. Okay. So when you come to the Facebook group search here, I'm just going to do a general search here for agency owners. All right. What you want to do is come down to groups here, and you can filter this search for agency owner groups by city. Okay. And what you want to do is just write a different city for each kind of search, because then you'll find agency owners in different parts of the world, which is a good way for you to kind of niche down on the group searches that you're doing. A really good example that I did before recording this video was just searching for like real estate agents, okay? And then coming down to groups and searching by city. So for example, I can go for like London in the UK, and by doing this, I can find real estate agents in London. Now, ideally, obviously, this has come up with Florida. That's not ideal. But in here, we're going to find, you know, groups targeting real estate agents in locations. And this is a really good way to just niche down and find specific groups in specific areas. And it also allows you to do like certain searches here for loads of different groups. So you can do one for like London, you know, Manchester, Liverpool, things like that, and really niche down. In the US, you can do it by state, and really niche down the kind of groups you're looking for. All right, so they're the main things I would look for when finding the perfect group on Facebook. Okay, so now that I've shown you how to find perfect Facebook groups yourself and the kind of groups that you should be looking for, I'm going to show you how you can find hidden groups on Facebook. Okay, now hidden groups are essentially Facebook groups that are not going to show up in the search tab, or if they are, they're going to be extremely far down the list. And ideally, these groups aren't going to be full of marketers, and they're going to be the kind of perfect fit which you can use to find quality members. All right, so a lot of other agencies, coaches and consultants and marketers in your niche will offer smaller Facebook groups that will not appear when you search for them on Facebook. These are essentially hidden Facebook groups. Okay, now the way to find these hidden Facebook groups is to find a competitor or a coach or consultant working in your space that has a free Facebook group that they are advertising to your niche in order to lead source for themselves. Because as we know, having your own Facebook group is a very, it's a very good long-term play in order to like organically source your own leads for a long time. And luckily, every niche has its own ecosystem with other appointment setters, coaches, and consultants who are doing that job for you. So we just have to find these people and infiltrate. Sounds like some kind of covert mission, because it kind of is, in order to get into these groups and use their leads. Okay, so in order to find these competitors and coaches in your space, we need to use the newsfeed, members in the groups you're in. We can use the suggested tab, but ideally that's only after you've been doing newsfeed and members in groups for a long time, so it's actually suggesting these people to you. And we can also use the search bar to find their profiles. Okay, some of these profiles will be advertising a free Facebook group or community. Simply join this and lead source. So I've got an example here of someone who has a hidden Facebook group. This guy, Oscar, I found him in a Facebook group, and you'll see here he has a cold email Facebook group, okay? This guy runs a coaching business or agency that targets, presumably, agency owners, and he's offering a free Facebook group which he's using himself to source leads, okay? Pretty much this guy is doing our job for us, okay? There's 281 members in here. All we have to do is join this group, and leads source from here. Okay, so this is a really cool example. I'm also going to just show you how we can potentially find these people using the search bar. So for example, I can just search for marketing coach, okay, and go for people, and let's have a look at the kind of people we find here. So obviously these are all going to be marketing coaches, and all these people are going to be targeting agency owners, marketers. All we have to do is open them up and see if they offer some kind of free Facebook group. I'm going to open up 4 here. I'll probably have to cut this recording if I don't find one straight away, but hopefully I'll be able to find one very quickly so I can show you how effective it actually is. Yeah, straight away. Diego Casina, he helps business owners book 20 to 40 more sales calls a month, or they don't pay. He has a free Facebook group. Oh, and he has one around camera confidence, which is something I referenced earlier. So here, straight away, here's a marketer who has his own Facebook group and is a perfect example of someone who's advertising a, quotations, hidden Facebook group. Because this one, when you go ahead and search for it, it's less likely that it's ever going to show up. It will, but this is essentially a hidden group because most people aren't going to be finding this by coming to this guy's profile. Okay, so this is an example of a hidden group. You can do the same for your niche. So for example, let's say you're in the gym owner space, you can look for like a gym owner coach or like a gym owner consultant. And quite a lot of the time, these people will have a free Facebook group which you can use to lead source. which not a lot of people are actually going to be in lead sourcing. And this guy's also going to be very, very careful about who he lets in. So it's not going to be full of marketers. I'm going to show you later in the video how to get into these groups. But yeah, really good example of a hidden Facebook group here, which you can use. Okay, I should have looked at those other accounts. But yeah, that is what a hidden Facebook group essentially is. And these are by far the best groups to use because they're not going to be full of marketers, and they're going to be full of people who are actually going to be a great fit for your business. And this guy here, who has this free Facebook group, he is effectively, he's going to be inviting people to this group. So everyone who's in this group here is going to have joined from invite from him or as a result of this guy's content. So these people actually want to be in the group. So yeah, they're very good examples of groups that are full of good leads for your business. Okay. The next thing that I'm going to cover here is paid groups. Now, full transparency here, this will require some kind of investment on your behalf, but it will mean that you get into quality groups full of quality members. By far the best leads, but it just involves a little bit of an investment on your behalf. Okay, so free groups are a great place to start. However, if you really want to separate yourself from the pack, you need to buy access to paid communities, services, and softwares. Okay, quick note before we go on, this approach requires a very low volume approach to avoid getting banned/removed. What I mean by this is because we're paying to get in these groups, there's probably going to be like admin managers and people like managing the accounts to make sure that no outreach is going on. Effectively, we need to keep the volume low so that we don't get banned immediately, especially if we're making like some kind of investment for this. Okay, a great example of this can be software groups. Find the software and apps your niche users on a daily basis. For example, with agency owners, Go High Level seems to be like an industry standard that everyone uses, and Go High Level actually offers a free Facebook group which you can join after you've signed up to their service. It's like £100 a month, but for that £100 a month we get access to like 30,000 members, which we can use to lead source. Okay, ideally here we need to be looking for like low ticket softwares and services that your niche uses. We need to buy them, access the free Facebook groups for paying members, and go from there. Now, again, I can't give you specific examples for your niche, but I can open your thinking a little bit here, okay? Let's say you're in the dentist niche, okay? Is there like an industry standard of like filing software that they use, or like receptionist software, or like, is there a place that, what kind of equipment do they use? Is there a free Facebook group for that, okay? Same for gyms, is there a booking software that everyone uses, that all gyms use, and they have some kind of free Facebook community which you can join? Maybe like a property market software for real estate agents. Good examples for agency owners are like High Level, Apollo, Instantly, for agencies, coaches, and consultants. And most of these will have Facebook groups which you can join once you signed up for the service. Okay, so again, just look for paid services which you can buy your way into and lead source from. Each niche will have good examples. Go out, find them. If you're watching this video, you probably know what kind of software is the industry standard, or what kind of equipment is the industry standard. 9 times out of 10, they will have some kind of free Facebook group, or even if it's not on Facebook, they may have some kind of community elsewhere which you can join and lead source from. But there's some very good examples out there. As I said, very low volume approach is probably going to be actual admin managing these accounts. But nonetheless, a very cool way to source leads, okay? I'm going to show you an example of the Go High Level group here. I believe if I come to groups, I'm actually a part of it. Yeah, the High Level official community. Am I in this? Yeah, I'm in this. Pretty much when you sign up to High Level, you immediately get access to this group, and it's going to be full of members who are agency owners just like you. There's 50,000 members in here. Now, I know at the beginning I said you don't want to be targeting these big groups, but you can kind of ignore that when it comes to paid groups, because everyone who's in this group has actually paid and is definitely running a business. And there will be other appointment setters who have paid to be in here, but for quite a lot of the time, the general population of appointment setters and marketers aren't going to be paying to get access to these communities. And also, like, if we're talking about your specific niche, the number's probably going to be a lot smaller. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Think about what your agency, what your niche uses on like a daily basis, and work out if there is a paid community that you can infiltrate and lead source from. Okay. Awesome. Okay. Now, gaining access. All right. So, as I mentioned at the beginning, most of these hidden groups and just Facebook groups in general will not allow marketers to join. You'll have no problem joining the Facebook groups like this. You'll have no problem joining these groups that are huge because there's going to be nobody like managing them, okay? But if you want to get access to, like, for example, the hidden groups, paid groups, well, mainly the hidden groups here, it's going to be a bit tricky because they're going to be run by your competitors and they're going to realize you are a competitor of theirs, and they're not going to let you in, okay? This is actually a good thing. I know it's a bit annoying, but it's a good thing because truthfully, that also means that everyone else who's trying to do the same method as you is not going to be approved in, okay? And luckily, it's very easy to get around this, all right? So there's two real ways that we can approach this, okay? We can either change our profile. So if you aren't actively, posting content in your account, we can simply alter our bio and about us section to gain access to these groups. So for example, if you have a profile which isn't really primed for content or outreach, you can just literally come into your profile, change your bio, say that you work. Let's say we're trying to join a gym owner group. We can just say we're like owner of X gym, and then just request access to the group. However, a much better way of doing this is by creating a throwaway account. And this is what I would recommend here. All right. We can also gain access to these groups by creating, essentially, quotations, a fake account under a random name. All right. All we have to do is simply come to fake name generator here and come to Pexels, and create a fake profile posing as a member within your niche. We can join these groups, lead source, and bookmark the profiles in your Chrome tab. All right, so we'll make a fake account. Just come in here and generate a random name, Stephen P. Silver, and just go in here and just search like man selfie. If we're targeting gym owners, we can do like man selfie gym, and just make a fake profile with a man in a gym, something like this or like this, and really gain access to these groups, okay? Obviously, these accounts are going to get banned because they're completely fake, but it doesn't matter because we're not going to be using them for anything other than just joining a group, all right? And essentially, like, we can lose them and just create another one, all right? What we're going to do is create these fake accounts, and we're going to be joining these quotations hidden groups in order to gain access. So, for example, here, if we want to join, let's go up here to choose a good example here, okay? So let's say we want to join a gym owner group here, all right? Personal trainers and gym owners, how to grow your business, okay? All we have to do is create a throwaway account under a fake name, join this because they're not going to let us in unless we are obviously, someone who they can target. Once we're in here, we can go through the members and open them all up into a new tab. So for example here, we can just open a few people. And what you want to do is come through these on your throwaway account that you've just created and bookmark them. Create a new folder, just call it leads. Put that on the bar up here and just simply bookmark all these people into a Chrome tab. And then what you can do is log out of this throwaway account, okay? Log out, log back into your main account, which you use for outreach. And once you're back in your main account here, you can just come here and open up all these people under your actual account and reach out to them this way. This just allows us to get in the groups and lead source, bookmark the leads, switch account, come back in and reach out to them from our proper account, okay? We're not doing any outreach from these throwaway accounts because they are going to get banned because they're completely fake, but we can use them just temporarily to gain access, get leads, and get out, pretty much. What I would advise doing is joining a group like this and creating a bookmark under this group name and just steal all their leads, all 500, bookmark them, and then come back into the other account and then you've got like 500 leads in here which you can reach out to slowly, okay? So that's how we get access to these groups. Some niches you won't have issue, like for example with me in the agency niche, I have no issue getting into groups because I'm an agency owner myself. But for you, let's say you're in like a more specific niche, it's going to be harder to get accepted. So this is a really cool way that you can use to get around this. All right. And next, how do we actually scrape the leads? So I've spoken a lot about finding groups here, and all these groups and what groups are going to be good, and what kind of leads are going to be in them, but I haven't really explained how we can actually use the groups to source leads. Okay, so once we found a few good groups and gain access, the next step is to scrape these leads. There are a few Facebook group features which we can use to like immediately source leads, and they're going to be here kind of immediately for us. All right, so let me open the Imperium group here. Okay, so the first thing we can do is come to members here, and we can use things like new to the group and members with things in common. All right, so we come down here and scroll down to new to the group. We can see everyone who's joined in the last 24 hours, 48 hours. Okay, and this is a really good way. Now these leads who are joining overnight aren't going to be the best fit, so I'd advise opening all these people up into a new tab and just working through one by one to see if they're a fit or not, and finding out if they're actually going to be a fit for your business. The next thing we can do is members with things in common. Now this allows us to kind of find a little bit more targeted leads that we can use, and they are just a little bit better and they require less verification on our end. You'll see here I go with members of things in common. Everyone here will be a lead pretty much that we can use. They're all going to have things in their bio that show that they're some kind of business owner, cold email specialist, because they've got something in common with you, they're probably advertise that they run a business just like your account. So this is a really cool way to find good leads using the Facebook group feature. All right. Next, we can also use group contributors. Now this is also a really good way to find quality leads, because these people are actually going to be contributing to the group and very active. So you want to come in here and go to group contributors. I'm unsure if I actually have this setting here. Group contributors. Okay, so for in this group, it's just me. I don't know why it's showing just me, but in most groups you go into, it could be because I'm an admin here, but if you go into these groups and go to group contributors, you'll see a bunch of people who are quite active within the community, and they're very good. It means they're going to be online, they're going to be quite receptive to replying to you, and they can be a good lead for you to reach out to. All right. And the final thing that you can use for these Facebook groups is just utilizing the actual content. So likes, comments on posts. So if you just come to the community here, come to discussion, and just work your way down. Okay, you'll see people within these groups asking questions, just looking for help, maybe promoting their services. You can either use the actual post person themselves, or you can go in here and just look at who's commenting. This guy's giving an example on how to set up high-level numbers, so obviously this guy is going to be an agency owner, and you can work through this way. You can also use things like the likes, so all these posts will have likes, they'll have shares. It's just a really cool way to source leads, really. Okay. So next, if a prospect has interacted with a post in a niche but is a bronze prospect, it is normally safe to pitch. Okay, the fact that they are engaging tells us they have some relationship with this niche. Okay, so this is where these bronze prospects will come into play. Okay, so quite a lot of the time, people who are liking these posts may not exclusively say that they run a business. So for example here, this guy, he's a small business owner. So yeah, this is kind of a platinum prospect. But quite a lot of these people interacting aren't actively going to say that they have a business, because they're not doing outreach on that account. It doesn't mean they don't actually have any affiliation with the niche. But this is a good chance to kind of utilize those bronze prospects here. If you see anyone liking or commenting who doesn't exclusively say that they do X, it could be a good lead for you to reach out to. All right. Awesome. So if you want to create a more inbound approach to lead sourcing, we can post within these groups to drive traffic to our inboxes, okay? And we can achieve this by essentially creating a lead magnet, or like I like to call it, like a curiosity magnet, okay? We can do this by posting, talking about our success in this specific niche, or within this specific group, or using this specific software, all right? A good example of this is saying, first time booking 20 appointments in a day, super happy. Or 3 clients closed in 1 week, new systems are warming up nicely. Okay, the aim here is to simply create curiosity from other group members. We do not want to be coming in here and saying like, I can help you get X amount of leads, or worth a chat, or like, hey, I'm looking for roofers, I've got this new offer. We don't want to do that. You're going to get banned and people are going to see right through it. You almost want to be in here acting as a part of this niche and just making, showing that you're seeing success using like within that niche. And they'll think, oh, this guy's seeing success. This guy booked 4 appointments in 1 day. How do I do that? And then you can use the likes that you get on that post, the comments you get, and also the DMs you get asking about how you do it. To funnel them onto your services. And also if you're using a throwaway account, you can then funnel them to your other account and ask them to reach out there. And then you can have people come into your main account just interested. So this is actually a really cool way. I haven't tested it that much. Well, that's a lie. I have tested it a lot, just not in the agency space. I used to do it quite a lot of gym owners. So yeah. This works extremely well in software groups. Yeah, so I mentioned this briefly. If you join, for example, the high level group and say that you're seeing success, just give out value. People will ask you, how you're doing it, because a lot of people struggle with certain softwares. So if you kind of just show people how to do things, you can create an inbound traffic, which is very nice. Okay. The more active you are in these communities, the more DMs you will get. So they're the main ways that we can kind of source leads using the Facebook groups. Okay, this will become clockwork eventually. You just want to log in, come to members, source leads, come to posts, source leads. Once you've been through this training once, it'll kind of all make sense on the kind of things that you could do in order to source leads for your niche using Facebook groups. Okay, so now that I have shown you how to utilize Facebook groups in order to find your niche on Facebook, I'm now going to show you how to use competitors, influencers, and appointment setters to find your niche on Facebook. Okay, luckily you aren't the only person targeting your niche on Facebook. There are hundreds of other agencies, coaches, consultants exactly like you that are targeting your niche on Facebook. Okay, there will also be hundreds of appointment setters either being managed or paid by an agency to book calls for their business. Okay, essentially, if we can find them, we can use their profiles to source leads for ourselves. They are literally doing your job for you. Okay, if we can find competitors, setters, or influencers that are targeting your niche, we effectively have a profile that is lead sourcing your dream clients for you. Okay, so how can we use competitors, influencers, and appointment setters to source our own leads? Okay, so appointment setters will reach out to leads in your market to pitch them. What do they do before messaging them? Okay, they add them as friends. All we have to do is open up their friends list and all the hard work is done for us. We can also use the content they post and interact with as a way to source leads for ourselves. All we have to do is find posts and shares that are targeting their friends, followers, and look at who's liking, commenting, sharing, and just generally interacting with these posts. Okay, we can also use their Facebook business pages. So most of these setters and influencers will have a Facebook business page attached to their profile, which we can go to and then use their content, likes, follows, and posted content to find fits. Okay, so how do we find competitors, influencers, and appointment setters on Facebook? Okay, now probably the best way to find these people is to use the Facebook search. Okay, so most of you should be aware of or know who the top fish in your specific niche are. All you have to do is simply use the search bar to find their pages and use their post likes, comments, and shares to source who is engaging. Okay, so for example, in the agency space, Charlie, as we all know, it is quite big. All we have to do is come to his profile and go through who's liking his content, who's commenting on his content. There's a lot of people here. Everyone who's liking this could be an agency owner, because as we know, Charlie targets agency owners, coaches, and consultants. And if we're targeting agency owners, coaches, and consultants as well, everyone who's liking this content is going to be a fit. We can then look at who's commenting and go through and look at everyone who's commenting here. This is a giveaway post. Everyone who is typing appointments in here obviously runs an agency and wants more appointments. So we literally have, 22 people here who are essentially a perfect fit for our business. Okay. If we keep going down, we've got another one here. And you can see an example of this here. Okay, you can also go to like other people within the space who are doing this. All right. So that's one example. If you, in your specific niche, I'm sure you are aware right now of who like the top dogs are. All you have to do is go ahead and find their profiles and lead source from here. Okay. Cool. We can also use the search bar to find, smaller competitors and appointment setters targeting our niche. Okay, to do this, it's very simple. We simply filter the public posts and search for your niche plus a keyword of your choice. For example, agency pay results, okay, or agency lead generation. All right. To do this, simply come up here to the Facebook and come to like agency lead generation. All right, and we go ahead and search for that. We then come to posts. Make sure that you come down and do this, public posts. And then from here, we will see a bunch of posts that people are making, okay? For example, a person called Newton here, okay? I just closed 14K USD new clients for my SEO agency with the power of lead generation. Everyone who is commenting and liking will have some interest in how to get results for their own agency and will either be congratulating them or interested on how he's done it. So everyone commenting here could be a potential lead for us. Everyone liking here will be a good potential lead for us. What we can do is use this post here to source our own leads. All right. From here, we can also open up his profile and he'll have a bunch of different resources which we can use to source leads. Okay. From here, we can look at the other posts he's made. Who wants my sales deck? You'll learn exactly how I sell my SEO agency services. Again, 275 comments. Everyone here will run a business and is someone that I can target. 41 likes of people that I can reach out to that could be a fit. I can also come to his followers. I've got 4,800 followers here who I can reach out to, because most of the time people who are following him, like, why is just some random guy who works a 9-to-5 job going to be following Newton Zhang, who teaches people how to run an SEO agency? There's potentially 4.8k people here who are running a business or have some interest in starting a business who could be a perfect fit for us. Okay, and that's how we can utilize people in our space who are literally doing our job for us. In order to source our leads. And this same principle goes for like every niche out there. If you're in the real estate niche, there's going to be real estate coaches who are targeting your niche. Just find their profiles and go from there. Okay? So for example, let's do an example for that. Let's go for real estate lead generation. From here, remember to go posts. Public posts, and let's work our way through and try and find an example. This is a woman in real estate, so straight away we can just reach out to her. I need lead generators and experts in the real estate industry. Here you'll probably find a lot more people who are marketing agencies. Let's use a different keyword. Let's go for like real estate coach. Again, posts, public posts. I'm an industry-leading real estate coach. So this woman here, she's a real estate coach. Straight away we found one on the first page. All we have to do from here is look through the likes, because there'll be a bunch of real estate agents in here who are interacting with her. A bunch of people commenting as well who could be real estate agents. Come to her profile. Real estate coach. Everything she's posting, interacting with these posts, could be a potential client if you're targeting real estate agents, which you could reach out to. Right, so that's a cool way to use a Facebook search profile. Just use your niche plus a keyword of your choice. Okay, you'll see here lead generation didn't really work very well for real estate agents, but it worked very well for agency owners. So just get creative, use a bunch of different keywords, and you'll find a winner very quickly. Okay. The next way to find, competitors, influencers, or appointment setters is to use the Facebook groups. Okay, so like we discussed above, we can also use Facebook groups to find competitors and appointment setters. Okay, to do this, we use the opposite approach to the one above. Okay, so whereas above, when we were talking about these Facebook groups up here, I was telling you to target the smaller groups. Now I want you to do the complete opposite and target the huge groups, which we know are full of appointment setters. Okay, we target the larger groups full of appointment setters and competitors. From here, we can use group members, posts, likes, comments, shares to find these people and lead source from their pages. All right. So again, let's just go to Facebook. Let's come to one of mine here, like digital entrepreneurs, SMMA. This might not be a good example here, but you can just come to groups you're a part of. Let's go to SMMA Lead and Appointment Mastery. These people just hiring setters. Better to find one. People just targeting your niche. Let's go to the Imperium group here. Just a safe bet, okay? And we can use these groups, people who are commenting, people who are liking, to find competitors, essentially. So we can come in here and we can work through, let's open up this Josh guy again, shall we? What you can do from here is literally look at the content he's posting, look at who's liking, commenting, come to his friends, look at who he's friends with, because truthfully, everyone that he's reaching out to on this account is going to be a fit for us because he's also targeting agency owners. All right. So we can use Facebook groups in order to find these people. We can look at who's commenting on posts because quite a lot of the time we'll come in here and find people commenting on posts and they could be posting content. We'll open up a few here. Okay, it's just showing me the Imperium Client Acquisition Club because I'm not a friend with him. But you get the point. You can use Facebook groups that you're a part of, these big ones, in order to just go through the members, go through the likes, go through the comments to find competitors who are also targeting your niche and reach out to them just like I've done above here. Okay. Next, we can utilize the newsfeed. Okay, so the great thing about Facebook is it will pick up on the people that you are adding and interacting with. Once you have used the above methods for a few days, Facebook will actually start suggesting appointment setters and competitors in your suggested friends or people you may know tab. Okay, the same principle applies to your newsfeed. Setters and competitors will just start randomly popping up on your newsfeed for you to find and source them. Literally, all you have to do is open Facebook and start lead sourcing. Okay, and the same goes for the suggested tab here. Okay, we can also use Facebook's algorithm to source competitors, influencers, and appointment setters in the suggested or people you may know tab. Again, quick note before I show you, this technique only works once you have used the methods above for a long enough time. I recommend checking it out 2 to 3 days just to see if it's working. If not, simply check back once a day to see if the algorithm has caught up yet. Okay, so literally what I can do now, because I've been targeting agency owners for so long, is literally open Facebook and just immediately find people who could be a fit for me. So straight away I found this guy who's posting wins in the community. In this post, we're breaking down how we helped a client. We signed in February, go from 4 to 5K. This is obviously a lead magnet. And then there's 31 people here we could reach out to who are agency owners. This shows the power of Facebook's algorithm. Literally, I opened Facebook. The first person that came up was someone that I could lead source from. Again, more information here. You get the point. You can literally open Facebook and find competitors who are, a good fit for you immediately. Again, can you buy your sales? Here is a little fact. This guy obviously does some kind of sales coaching. And from here, I can go look at the likes, comments, and go from there. As I mentioned, you can also use the suggested tab to find these people. And a really cool way to do this is literally just come to friends, suggestions, and just literally open up these groups, and you'll be able to find people who could be a potential fit for you. Engaging email copy. So obviously this is a guy who's a fit for me, but ideally we want to look for people who are actual like appointment setters, or people who are posting content, testimonials here. We can go out and reach out to them, okay? But you get the point. The main thing here is you just want to find people who are also targeting your niche, because they're literally doing your job for you. And if you can find them, quite a lot of the time you can even just open up your inbox and just see people have messaged you trying to sell you a service and realize that they actually work in the same niche as you. So all you have to do is go to these messages of people DMing you and just open their friends list, and you've got a bunch of people who you can reach out to. Yeah, it's a very cool way to do this. If you can find anyone who's also working within your niche and just find their social profile, 9 times out of 10 there will be leads interacting or in the friends list there that you can reach out to. Yeah, very good way to do it. All right. So next, okay, I'm going to talk about the Facebook ads library. I touched on it briefly up here. Hey guys, William here, just recording this quick voiceover to explain something that I just said. So I just mentioned that I covered the Facebook ads library above. I want to avoid any confusion. I actually didn't. I decided to record this video in 2 different sections, and in the second part of the recording I decided to just merge it into one big section. Okay, so I reference here that I did it before, but I actually didn't. I'm going to cover Facebook ad library right now. Okay, but I'm actually going to go into a lot more detail here, because this has actually been one of the best ways for me to source leads for Imperium. And I think, you know, it doesn't work extremely well for agency owners, but I think it will work extremely well. And in fact, I know it works extremely well for more brick and mortar niches, like dentists, chiropractors, gym owners, you know, real estate, things like that. So let's get into it. Like we touched on briefly above, we can also utilize the Facebook ads library to find prospects within our niche who are running ads to their audience. Okay, so the difference between this method is obviously we were using the Facebook ads library up here to target competitors. Now we're going to actually use the Facebook ads library to specifically target our niche. Okay, to do this, all we have to do is simply go to the Facebook ads library, select our location, United Kingdom, choose all ads, and search for your niche. I'd recommend adding local before your niche for better targeting. I've found in my experience that adding local, just the keyword local, allows us to actually target the smaller businesses who are actually running ads for themselves. Okay, from here we can open up their Facebook page, website, and view all of the ads they're running. Okay, the most important thing here, okay, is do not be put off from specific businesses if they look like they have established ads or are seeing success. Okay, these ads do not, I repeat, do not paint a full picture of the pain points they are experiencing in their business. Even if they look successful, even if it looks like they're already working with a business or agency, many of these businesses may be experiencing issues with their current ad structure or agency. Do not prejudge, and I cannot say this enough. Do not prejudge these people. Okay, it may look like when you find their ads that they are established and they don't need your help. I promise you, it does not paint a full picture, and quite a lot of them do need help. Okay, so we can do this by simply coming to the ads library and searching for something like local chiropractor. I did a search for this the other day, all right? And immediately I found a fit if I'm searching for chiropractors in my local area. Hands-on Health Clinic, Bedford's Chiropractic and Medical Acupuncture Clinic, I can't say that, Haptic Chiropractors, Daily Devices, you know, Sheen Road Chiropractic. All of these people are going to be targeting people for their business. Now, granted, as I said, this could be an agency running it for them, but how well do we know these are working? You know? Let's keep going. Health and physical medicine, chiropractor for kids. So all these people here, we've immediately found a bunch of people that we can reach out to. All we have to do is like and message them. Hands-on Health Clinic, in Birmingham, AMI clinic in Bedford, haptic chiropractors in Shoreditch. I'm not sure if this is a clinic or not. Okay. Sheen Road Chiropractic in Sheen Road in Richmond. Chiropractic care in, this is the United States. But you'll see the power in using the ads library, because all of our niche are going to be running ads. They want more clients. The fact that they're actually running ads here shows that they want more clients, and they're actively trying to do that. So even if it looks like they're seeing success, the fact that they're even running ads says to us that they need more business, so they could be perfect to reach out to. But the same can go for other things. So we can go for like local gym and find Revamp Gym, Crew 42 Gym, Liverpool, Anytime Fitness, Daventry, Active Leeds. Obviously, these are the bigger ones. I know when you're searching for gyms, you want to find the smaller one, like Dave's Gym, perfect example here. Okay, this is a really cool way to just find gyms who are running ads on Facebook. And as I said, the fact that they're running ads shows that they need more traffic, and we can reach out to them this way. Okay, I know it's not hard to find gyms on Facebook, but finding gyms that are actively running ads, and they're actually running ads that potentially aren't working, because as we all know, Facebook ads are so confusing. They're very hard to get right, and you have a lot of problems with them with accounts getting banned, and quite a lot of these gym owners will be doing it themselves and probably hate it, which is where you slide in and you show them how easy you can do it and the results they can get, and you take the stress of running this away from them. They'll love you. We can do the same for local dentist. Dental clinic, dental care, dentistry, okay? This is the importance of putting local at the start, okay? Because if we just search for dentist, we could probably still get results, but we get a lot of different kind of things pull up. The importance of putting local at the start just makes it a lot more niche down, all right? So that's how we can use the Facebook ads library, okay? And it's very simple, okay? This method is very effective, but as you can see from all these results, it only gives us the Facebook page, all right? Which, we can use, but ideally we want the personal profile, okay? We can still reach out to Facebook pages, okay? But we need to see the best results. We want to find Dave. We don't want to be targeting Dave's gym profile page, because it's not been active since the 16th of May. We want to be targeting Dave himself, all right? I'm actually going to show you now a few methods that we can use to reverse engineer Facebook pages. Okay, so here's how we can actually reverse engineer Facebook pages that we find from the ads library in order to be targeting personal profiles. Okay, if we can find the owners or managers, ideally the owners, but the manager also works, name, okay, we can use Facebook to find a personal profile. Okay, so there's a checklist here of things that you can do in order to find the personal profile. Okay, so obviously let's choose. I actually know fitness works when I used to work with gyms, so just search for local gym here on the ads library. It's come up with a bunch of results for gyms in local areas that are running ads to get more gym members. Okay, if we open up their Facebook profile, okay, here obviously we can reach out to this. It could work, but ideally we want to know who the owner of Fitness Works is. Okay, so there's multiple different ways we can do this. Okay, the first thing that I would recommend doing is checking the about section for an email containing a first or last name. Okay, so sometimes I've noticed that if it's a smaller business, it will simply have the owner's name here, like Dave at fitnessworks.com or like Julia at fitnessworks.com. Obviously this one doesn't, but this is a good way to start, because obviously all we need to know is their first name or their second name. We obviously need to know, it would be ideal to know their full name, but we just need some kind of name that we can work on. Okay, this guy doesn't, so we'll continue looking through. Next, check the content posted for any reference to the owner or manager. So quite a lot of the time, these pages will do a post about the owner or the manager, especially in gyms, but also in like agencies, dentists, chiropractors. It will do like an about section to get the audience to know them. Okay, so we can go through and check their content. Okay, if there's any kind of post here about the owner, Doesn't look like it. Meet the team. Okay, immediately. There is a meet the team. Whether or not they'll do the owner or not, I'm unsure. But you'll see they do some kind of meet the team posts. I can't find an example here. Okay, not everyone will, so we'll keep going. Next, open their website and look for either an About Us, Our Story, or Contact Us page, okay? Quite a lot of businesses will tell us who the owners are right away, and sometimes an owner's name will be mentioned on the homepage also, okay? So let's open up FitnessWorks website. Now, this is very common in gym owners to have some kind of information about the owner here. Okay, not all the time. Okay, I'm hoping it doesn't, because I'd like to show you a more advanced method to do it. I don't want to find the owner straight away, because it's not going to be easy every single time. So this so far, there seems to be that you can choose gyms. So let's just open up like Stratford upon Avon gym. So this is a franchise here. Someone will own this. Yeah, nothing here about people. Let's get a personal training. Okay, this is good. Let's continue looking. There's nothing really here about the owner, which is good. It means I can show you some of the other methods. All right. Of course, for you, sometimes it will show the owner, and quite a lot of the time it does. But right now we can't find it, so let's keep going. If none of the above works, we can use an email scraping extension like snov.io to find emails that contain a first or last name. Okay. So if we come to here, and we open up Snov as a Chrome extension. Okay, and straight away we've got a bunch of names of people who could be one of the owners. Okay, we have Jack, Rich, Matt, Chris, Rika, Harry, and Jacob. Okay, so obviously this is way too much to work from. If there was like one or two on here, like just Matt, we could use Matt, search for Matt, and try and find him that way. If you've done all the methods and this is the only information you have, what you can do is use all of these names and do all 13. It will take a bit longer, but you will be able to find, I guarantee one of these is the owner, okay, or the manager. So this is another good way to find the owner's name and go from there. Next, okay, we can do just a general Google search for business name. Okay, if none of these work, then this normally always works. Okay, we can just do a Google search for the business name, so FitnessWorks plus owner. Sometimes, however, most of the time, there will be articles which are written about the business or links to other platforms where the owner mentions their business. You know, Google's smart. If the owner has any online trail tying them to their business, it will show up. Okay, so we can just simply come up here and go FitnessWorks owner, and then immediately straight away we found Matt Gibson. I actually believe he was one of the emails that came up here. Yeah, Matt at FitnessWorks. So immediately we have his email here, which is good. And it says here, Matt Gibson is a gym owner. We also have Jack Gibson, who's a director. Okay. Also, actually, if we come here, there is an About Us section on the website, which I wasn't able to find. Probably should have taken a little bit more time because straight away, Jack Gibson is the owner. Very, very easy to find. Jade, personal trainer. So where was this on the website? This is on the About Us section. I don't think this was actually up here, but they do have this on the website. So sometimes you can just come up here, fitnessworks.com, and then search About Us, /About Us, and find the owner. So here we go. We have the owner's name straight away, Jack Gibson. Okay. Now from here, we should be able to find the owner on Facebook. Okay. We can either try Matt Gibson or Jack Gibson. Okay. Matt was the first person that came up. So let's go and search for him on Facebook. Matt Gibson, FitnessWorks. And straight away we have Matt's personal profile here. And he is at least one of the owners of one of the gyms here. Add as a friend, message. So straight away from there, we've gone from ads library to the Facebook page here. And from here, we've used a bunch of different methods to find the owner. Let's also go back and search for Jack Gibson, because that's another owner we got. I'm guessing they're brothers. And straight away we've got Jack Gibson here, owner of Fitness Work Gyms. And straight away we find another person, another owner here who we can reach out to. So that's how we reverse engineer Facebook pages. I'll go through the rest of the methods that we have here. Obviously we found it after a while. The next thing you can do is search for the business name on a government business registry website. For example, in the UK, every business has to register with Companies House, and they're required by law to register and upload documents about the business and the owners and like profit and loss to Companies House. So all you can do is literally come to Companies House. If you're in a different country, I'm sure you will have a similar website to this. We can find company information, start now, and just search for Fitness Works. Come to people, and straight away we found the owner that way. So it's up to you which way you want to use. I would personally recommend just starting with the Facebook profile because it's the quickest. You're on Facebook quite a lot of the time. This was quite a bad example, but quite a lot of the time you can literally find the owner's email here if it's a smaller business, or find it on their website or on their content very quickly. However, you can also use a Facebook search and also use things like Companies House or whatever you use for your country, and we can straight away find the owner that way. And then it's a simple Facebook search from there to find the owner. Okay, another way that you can find the owner, obviously we can get the name, and then from there we can cross-reference the page likes, follows, comments and shares. So for example, we can come to Fitness Works and see who's liking. There might be a Jack Gibson here. However, what I would do is just go ahead, just straight away search it. Okay, yeah, as I said, Facebook search, use the location filter to find the owner. And also another really cool thing you can do, which I didn't mention, is you can use a Google search. Okay, so you can simply go for Jack Gibson Fitness Works. If nothing comes up from the page or from Facebook search, you can come here and normally you can find them on a different platform, and cross-reference them back to hopefully find their Facebook. But quite a lot of the time on their other platforms, you can like come here and find their Facebook. Not for this example, but you can do that and you can cross-reference it back if they have any kind of online presence. Okay, he's made it a bit harder to find us, but nonetheless, if you can find a Facebook page, 99% of the time you can find the owner. All you have to do is first find their name, and then from there you can cross-reference a few different things to find the owner. Awesome. I hope you find that useful. Okay, that saved me so much time and hassle when I ran my own gym. Not my own gym agency. Because it's all well and good messaging Facebook pages, but ideally you want to find the owner's name, and this is a really cool way to do that. All right. Hey guys, William here again. So upon editing, I just want to add a little bit more context here because I can understand this reverse engineering section can be quite time consuming. So ideally this method is kind of designed for you to outsource to a VA, because I completely understand if you were to do this for every single lead, it would be extremely time consuming and probably not the best efficient way for you to spend your time. Okay, so I highly recommend teaching a VA how to reverse engineer Facebook pages, giving them this training, so then you can go off and just source as many Facebook pages as you can, give it to a VA and have them just find the actual personal profiles of the lead from there. Okay, hope this helps. Let's get on with the video. Awesome. So next I'm going to cover the Facebook Watch tab. Okay, believe it or not, it is actually possible to source leads for your business using the watch feed. This is an extremely simple method that I've been using for a while now for Imperium, and I really don't think anyone else is doing this or teaching this, truthfully. Okay, to do this, simply open Facebook. Come to the Watch tab and search for your niche plus owners. Other examples we can use are agency, coach, consultant, or lead generation. Okay, so obviously we're not looking for, this could be a bit confusing because we just spoke about the owners here. We're not looking for a specific owner of a business here. This is a completely new method, and we're using this to find content that's being posted, targeting your niche. Okay, so for example, we can come to the Watch tab up here and we can go gym owners. Forgive me for using the gym owner niche so often, but it's just a good way for me to show you how this works. We can come to the top gym owners videos, and immediately we've got 1, 2, 3. They're all from Gym Launch, to be fair. Alex Hormozy. Let's try and use one that's not from. This is a different guy, but it's all towards Hormozy. Gym Launch are obviously taking up the space here. I want to find someone that's not Gym Launch. No, it's all Gym Launch.
Gym owners, if you were making more than 50,000.
But here we go. This is just content targeted towards gym owners. And again, all we do is come in here to the comments, find out who's commenting, find out who's liking. All these people are going to be gym owners. Not all of them, but quite a lot of these people are going to be running a gym or something along those lines. Let's open up these people. Let's show you. Who are these people? FitBiz Solutions. Could run a gym. A lot of these people are going to be running gyms.
The first 4 months of that.
Another guy, gym owners. Go for their likes. Who's Robert? It's a really cool way to find gym owners. Yeah, owner RS Fitness. Straight away, we found a gym owner who's liking a gym-related post. This is what it comes down to, everyone. You have to think about where your niche is going to hang out. What kind of content are they going to consume? Go there and find them. Okay, it really is that simple. It's taken me literally 2 minutes then, and I've already found a gym owner from the watch feed. Fitness instructor, personal trainer, self-employed, entrepreneur, another gym owner, or fitness professional. This guy, he's some kind of coach. If you target coaches, it works well.
If I was a health club owner, which if I started another gym, that would definitely be one of the top 2 options.
Shush. Again, let's go through here and see if we can find anyone. I want to give you some examples because obviously this method does work. It works extremely well for when I'm searching for agencies, but I'm just showing you here it works for gyms. Again, these could be bronze prospects who are not showing that they won't own a gym, but they could actually, in fact, own a gym. Okay, but this same thing can be done for dentist owners. This guy targeting dentists. Look at who's liking it. Stephen Parker, only 1 like, but is this guy a dentist? Please be a dentist. Profitable Dentist magazine. Okay, well, even from there we can go to his likes and comments and go from there. You see the process behind this. We can do this for agency owners. Just got to find content that's being targeted towards your niche and just look at who's liking and commenting. Objection handling for agency owners.
Everybody, in today's video, I want to talk.
Shush. Who's going to view this video if you're not some kind of agency owner? You'll have some kind of, or have some kind of desire to want to start an agency. It's all it's going to be. Again, 274 likes, a bunch of people in here. Could be running an agency, want to learn how to objection handle. Agency owner. Probably an agency owner. That's how we can use the watch feed. And the watch feed is a very good way to source leads because no one else is doing it. I don't know anyone else who's teaching this, but it works so bloody well. The important thing about Facebook outreach is you need to use everything.
Most common.
Stop talking. You need to use everything the platform gives you. Okay. Ideally, I want to find a way to source leads with gaming, fundraisers, events. I've tried, but the ones that work best are the watch feed groups and the marketplace as well. Because at the end of the day, it all comes down to user experience. Okay. Facebook wants users to be happy. They want them to be interacting with all this stuff. As a result of that, Facebook users are going to be using these things, and they are going to be, your niche is going to be habitating places on Facebook. You just have to find them. Okay. Another interesting one, Facebook Marketplace. Okay, you've probably never heard about this or even thought about this. Okay, but believe it or not, we can actually use Facebook Marketplace to source potential clients. Okay. Let me ask you this. Who is realistically going to be selling and buying industry grade tools and equipment? For example, dentist equipment, used gym equipment, People working in that industry. Okay, who's going to be selling it? People working in that industry. Okay, find out what your niche buys, sells, and just generally uses on a daily basis. And I promise you, there will be some people in your niche selling it on Facebook Marketplace. Okay, for example, you can look for like used gym equipment. Okay, look for listings and see who's posting them. Okay, unfortunately we can't see who's liking this, but we can see who's posting it. Okay, why would a random guy on Facebook be selling professional grade gym equipment or professional grade roofing tools or chiropractor beds? Okay, these are actually some of the best leads. And they're some of the best leads because just the fact that they are selling equipment could suggest to us that they are facing difficulties in their business. And we can swoop in here and save them with our DM sorcery approach while there is still time. Okay, quick note before I show you, this approach will not be relevant for everyone. Okay, this is more tailored towards traditional brick and mortar niches, but you'd honestly be surprised with what you can find people selling on here. Okay, so let's go to Marketplace. I really need to bookmark Facebook, but here we go. So let's go to Marketplace. Recently I've been looking at buying a new car, so that's why there's been so many cars coming up straight away. However, none of these I want. So let's have a look. Let's use, I've done this before. Yeah, here we go. Use gym equipment, okay? And let's have a look at this. Now, a lot of these people are just going to be selling stuff from their home, okay? But, there will be some gyms on here that are selling equipment from their gym that they need to get rid of. So I'd advise just opening all these people up into a new tab. This looks like a gym. You'll look in the background and look what the space looks like. This looks like a gym. Or obviously, apologies, I've got it set to where I live. Let's set it to 500 kilometers and try again. However, I know that Facebook is very slow and I think it's opened up into a, come on, 500 kilometers, here we go. Right, even better. We can immediately find commercial gym equipment straight away that gyms are selling, all right? Straight away, who's selling this in an actual gym? Mark Smith selling this. Who's Mark Smith? View his profile. He's a physical therapist. But I would bet all my money that he's a gym owner. In fact, I'm certain he's a gym owner. Why would he be posting this in a gym? Let's go to the next one. Let's not use this one for an example. Let's use this one here. Watson Glute Ham Developer. The picture's taken in an actual gym. Being sold by Frank. Let's check his profile. Owner at Average Joe's Plymouth. Straight away, we've got a gym owner here. Okay, and this is something that like no one's doing, but it works so well. I promise you it works well. Here's a job lot here. People selling loads of equipment from a gym. Adam Barraclough. Clow. I promise you this guy's a gym owner. Look at him, Wildcat, Wild Gym Fitness. Let's have a look at this. Commercial gym equipment. Whole gym full of stuff. Wayne Downey. Who's Wayne Downey? Gym owner. Marketplace is such a cool and unique way to find leads on Facebook, which no one's doing. I promise you, you've never thought of this before. But it's very quick, very effective, and gets good results. Tom Hadfield. You know, truthfully, I think he's a gym owner. Hadfield Fitness. He's a fat loss expert. So anything about him being a gym owner? Maybe. He does sell fitness equipment, okay, so maybe he's not fit. But the other ones before were absolutely fine. We can use this same method for chiropractors. Here's a search I did last night. Used chiropractic table. Who's going to be selling a chiropractic table? Who owns one of these? Chiropractors. So all we have to do from here is just open them up. You know? Like, it's It's a really cool way to source leads. I'm going to be completely honest with you. Who's selling this one? Elizabeth Scholes works at Ducci Chiropractic. Straight away, a chiropractor. Costa Kolemichekov. Again, another osteopath. Like, this is so bloody effective, and I never see anyone using it or teaching it. And I've sourced so many leads. When I used to work for gym, when I used to do my gym agency, I used to do this all the time. I didn't realize until, I joined Easy Grow and started working here that, like, it's quite an effective way to do it. I bet he's a chiropractor. Tommy Smith. Why is he selling a chiropractic table? Why would you be selling that? Because you're a chiropractor. Now, obviously, not all of these people are going to be a fit. Like, there's going to be some, that aren't. Some of these people are just simply not. They're just going to have one, or they're going to come across one and they'll sell it online. So it's not going to be relevant for everything. But 9 times out of 10, these people, it's going to be a fit. Let's have a look at Sylvia, certified massage therapist. Okay, maybe not a fit for chiropractors, but maybe you want to reach out to a massage therapist for once. So that's the power of Facebook Marketplace, and you can do this for every niche. You can even find people reselling high level and like Apollo and things like that on here. And for other niches like dentists, like find out what equipment they use and see if, like, let's have a look at used dentist equipment. I've never done this before, so this could not come up with anything. But straight away, dentist chair. Who's going to be selling a dentist chair? People who are dentists. Straight away, Shazia. View profile. Is she a dentist? No, but she works somewhere. From here, you can probably go to friends, find an owner somehow. Dental equipment. Riaz. Is he a dentist? Could be a dentist. He's got a degree. You have to have a degree to be a dentist. Reach out. Olga. Who's Olga? Principal dentist. Incredible Smiles. Is she the owner? Probably. Okay, so this is actually a really, Marketplace is so effective for sourcing leads mainly because no one's doing it. And these people that are selling stuff on here, they're all going to be personal profiles, and they're probably not going to come up in search. So these people aren't getting reached out to. Marketplace. Told you I'd sort you guys out. Marketplace is fantastic. Okay, yeah, that's how you use Marketplace, and I highly recommend giving it a go because it is truly fantastic. Okay, and the final approach I'm going to show you is Facebook's algorithm. Okay, now the great thing about Facebook is it is an extremely intelligent platform. Over time, its algorithm will pick up on the people you are adding and interacting with. Okay, once you have used the above methods for a few days, Facebook will actually start suggesting perfect fits for your business when you open the platform. How can we use Facebook's algorithm to source potential leads? It's actually very simple, and I've already touched upon this a little bit, but I'm going to do it again. You simply, after you've been using, Facebook Marketplace and Facebook Watch and the ads library, and you've been looking for competitors, and you've been looking in Facebook groups, and you've been reaching out to people in your niche and selling people in your niche and being friends with people in your niche and interacting with people when you're doing this process, eventually Facebook's going to be like, oh, right, this guy, he obviously wants to be shown this content, so let's just start showing him it in the newsfeed. And after a while, you can simply open up your newsfeed and lead source. Keep in mind, the methods we spoke about previously, for example, groups, competitors, setters, influencers, methods we told you on how to lead source, how to open their profile, how to go to their friends list, how to go to their likes, yada, yada, And just open your newsfeed and look out for posts, group messages, adverts that you can use to prospect. Just come to Facebook. And for me, with agency owners, all I have to do is come in here, open it up. Look, already I'm getting gym stuff coming up, that's how quick the algorithm works. And literally all you have to do is come through here and just find agency owners, find posts. For example, I don't know how to tell people to work with us, yada yada. Who's Dan? Who's going to be reading this kind of stuff about selling and scaling a business? Agency owners. Who's going to be liking this? Agency owners. Who's going to be commenting on this? Agency owners. Use this and just go and just see who's liking in it. See who's commenting on it. Once you've been using these other methods for long enough, your niche will just pop up on here. Like, you'll just get dentists popping up on here, talking, because that's how powerful the algorithm works. You'll get gym owners just popping up in here. Okay? All you have to be doing is looking for posts, looking for adverts. Oh, look, I'm already getting a physio advert. You know, that's how quick the algorithm works. Literally immediately. Think about how good it's going to be after you've actually been reaching out and friend requesting them for a while, you know? It's fantastic. Just open up the newsfeed, look for people, look for posts, look for comments, and you will just find it in here, okay? And the final thing that I'm going to cover today is the suggested tab, okay? Simply open up your friends tab and look through the suggested friends lists. If you've been doing the above correctly for at least a week, I say at least a week, at least a few days, prospects will start filling up your suggestions every single day with zero admin from you, okay? Literally all you have to do is come to friends, come to suggestions here, and just work through here. And you can just open up helping founders, entrepreneurs. Like for me, when I'm doing outreach from Facebook, or my setters are doing outreach on Facebook, all they have to do is open the suggested tab and do this, okay? Co-founder. You know, that's all you have to do, all right? And that is really a comprehensive explanation of how to use Facebook to lead source. Okay, I appreciate this has been a very long video, but I must have given you at least 30 different ways here to source leads. You know, I've covered competitors, but I've then given you multiple different ways in this to find competitors. So let's go check this all off at the top. We've done Facebook groups, we've done competitors, we've done appointment setters, we've covered the Facebook ads library, we've covered the watch tab, the marketplace tab, and we've also covered the algorithm and reverse engineering Facebook pages. What I've given you today is everything you need to go out and find your leads on Facebook. Find your niche. Find out exactly where your niche hangs out and infiltrate that. Okay? As I said in the overview video at the start, it's very important not to rely on just one of these methods. And I'm going to say it again and explain it again now. If you come on every day and just rely on the Facebook marketplace, which I recommend you guys try this, but if you come here and just do this every single day, this is going to become dry very quickly. And then you're going to start getting stressed out and your leads are going to start coming down and you're going to wonder, how do I make this work? What you need to be doing is coming in and doing 10 from Facebook groups, 5 from one group and 5 from another group. Then you want to be coming down to the ads library and finding a few pages and reverse engineering them to find profiles like that way. And then you want to come to the watch tab and find maybe 2 or 3 leads, and then to the marketplace and find 2 or 3 leads, and send those 30 friend requests daily from all of these here. Because if you just rely on Facebook groups, it's going to dry out. You're going to run out of leads. And you're not necessarily going to run out of leads, but you're going to exhaust that way of doing it. And also Facebook's going to realise you were just opening the account every day and just doing Facebook groups. Use as many of these as you can and switch up. Like sometimes you might want to come in and just open the suggested tab and do 10. And then go to marketplace and do 10. And then do the groups and do like 20. But make sure you're switching up the ways that you are doing this, because it's how you're going to find the best leads and how you're going to constantly, have the best leads coming into your business and into your friend requests so that you can pitch them. The good thing about this is that this is easily outsourceable. Okay, you can easily get a VA to just do this every morning for you. All you have to do is give them this video and tell them to go into your account every day and send 30 requests from these methods. Because I understand some of these take a little bit longer, especially like the Facebook groups method. Just give this to a VA. Pay him. It'll take him an hour, maybe less. Pay him $3, and that's 30 requests a day done for you. Facebook is very, very easy to find leads. Most people overcomplicate it, and they get confused, and they, as I said at the beginning, they just search for Facebook groups, and then they struggle. And there's probably loads more than what I've showed you here. You're probably watching this, or there's some people out there thinking, oh, you haven't mentioned this. I'm like, yeah, but there's so many different ways on Facebook to find leads. My main goal for this was just to open your eyes a little bit and show you how many different ways and how easy it actually is to find leads on Facebook. I want you to use this, but then also go out and find your own ones, and now you know how easy it is to source leads. Lead generation is not hard. It's very simple. And that's everything, guys. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this. I understand this has been a very long video. I did not intend for it to be this long, but I hope you've watched it all, and yeah, I'll see you in the LinkedIn video. Take care.